Hello, hello, Black Bean Simpson here. It is 2, or it's February the 1st, 2019, 2:28 p.m. Got a little bit of sad news here. I'm gonna be talking about, excuse me, essentially what's a killer in the millenniums right now. We have this young woman here who her name is Tara Kondo. I think that's how you pronounce the last name. Tara Kondo. She took her own life. She's like 27 years old, a nutritionist. Has, if you know, essentially, if you look at her background, she has a what would seem to be a shining golden background for her career and what future that she has a lie ahead, and the things that she's just done. Most people would only dream to do half the things that she's done. It's a interesting situation actually. She's a woman of essentially of parents that come from two different worlds essentially. I know I used that more than once. I tend to do that with a lot of words. Her father was a Jewish man, and her mother was a Chinese woman. Um, from what seems to be is that my what I really want to particularly hit on this is that the reason why I'm pretty sure why she took her life. It was a form of emptiness in this young woman. Her father, I could not find a lot of information. In fact, I could only find some photos and just a few things that were said, or not a few things, just like the one thing that she said in her um, suicide letter that she posted online. And this is the Tara Kendall, um, a picture of her, and this is when I guess she was in, I think, the Philippines. So this was like last year. So this is like about a year old photo. And her suicide letter. What's really interesting when I was reading it, it really struck me because a woman that like her, that you would see like her, she's a beautiful woman and intelligent too, very intelligent. But when you read her letter, it's like it's empty of any life. What I mean by that, besides her writing it, and her making a mention of her dad and her mom at the end, it really doesn't go into anybody else. I mean, in fact, it actually talks about. It says, "I often felt detached while room full of my favorite people." My favorite people. I mean, that's a. I bet if she would have said that to a therapist, that would have caused a great alarm. How can you feel so attached by people that you claim to be your favorite people? And to say favorite people, it's like they're animals or pets or something like that, or like dolls. I almost it almost makes me wonder one or two things. Because her father seems like he must have passed away early on, and I could only, like I said, I could only find photos. I mean, if anybody out there who can find more information on her father, that'd be great, because I could only find photos through this website, the sun.co.uk, um, which is interesting because I just couldn't find them anywhere else. So I don't even know how they acquired it. But then again, it's not like I got years of extensive investigatorial skills or resources. Um, so I did essentially the best I could. I can't even find the guy's name. It's like I'm kind of a pain because if I could find his name, I could dig a lot more. But by the seams of it, I could only find pictures of her young with with the father. So I'm under the assumption because of that he must have passed away when she was really young, probably less than 5 years old, or probably around that. Which means that she essentially longed for a man, a father, and she didn't know that. There was a great emptiness, and she could not understand what that great emptiness was. Which is why I say that I felt detached while I was in a room of my favorite people, which is why I point that out what she said. It's you know usually if you can't feel close to people, it's because something happened early in life to make you not understand how to, or not wanting to gain or to make those connections. The loss of her father was probably so great, and that they didn't know how to deal with it. The mother didn't know how to deal with it herself, probably, or know how to work with her. Was that she just bottled up all that, and it stopped her from really truly opening up and being honest about what her real thoughts, her deep thoughts, her feelings are. Which is why, again, it only talks about I'm going to miss doing New York Times crosswords. I mean, all these things that she goes into. Some of the stuff I don't even know what the heck it is. I don't even know what to. She lived a life that many people would say is exquisite. I mean, she even goes into where is it? I can't find it now. But she pretty much says that most people will never even have the cuisines that she's had. But she must be. She must. It sounds like she was a had a love for food, essentially a passion. It's too bad that she didn't meet a man that was a chef. But what it seems like, what it really comes down to, is that she had this longing, this loss for her father, and it grew such a hatred that it essentially created what felt like a void to her. In reality, there was no void. It was just something herself created a long time ago, and it just kept on repeating and repeating and repeating. And that voice, you can say, that kept on pretty much telling that she was void, that she could not be close with her favorite people. She didn't know how to become undetached, like whatever those words that were stopping her from being attached to her friends and becoming truly best friends and having best friends, or even a few good friends rather than calling them favorite people. uh, it's it's that repeatingness that happened so long ago, that was to protect her. It was like this thing, you could say, it was protect her, but now is harming her. Evil has a way to protect itself so it can continue its evil later on, if that makes sense. This idea that I I can pretty much guarantee that what was happening in her mind was that she could not even goes, I felt absolutely nothing during what should have been the happiest and darkest times in my life. She had, like, essentially this evil has, like, bodied itself to learn how to protect her, essentially, in the early stages in life. So in the early days when her father must have passed away, this evil essentially rooted into her to not allow her to express or feel those feelings that she was having about the loss of her father, to at least express the situation about her father. That evil essentially created over time this feeling of detached, which was like a voidness. And it kept on telling her that this was the case, which was not the case at all. Because obviously there was a lot of people that cared and loved what she did and who she was. She just didn't know how to take that necessary step to actually make a relationship, a close relationship with some of these people that truly loved her. And that's what some of these people were probably really waiting for, was her to truly open up and to actually not just be missing unexpected hugs, but knowing that you're going to get hugs when you come in. It's not going to be so unexpected. So that's seriously, there's a lot of people out there when they lose their father or mother, but a lot of times their father, it creates this emptiness. This that's essentially, I mean, that's a word to describe what is actually hatred. It's a hatred. It's an evil, an anger that essentially over time destroys, and it just so happened to destroy her. So I don't know if she was born or raised or she just was living in, or no, because she was living in New York. My computer did a glitch there for a second, but she this happened in New York. She one of the other things too I want to touch on, and this isn't like for certainty or anything like that, but I've seen quite a bit of her photos, and one thing I noticed in a lot of her photos, I didn't find any photos of like her with quote unquote friends or people that would be considered friends or even like a boyfriend. I'm not saying that there was none. I didn't actually go through Instagram either, the whole entire Instagram, but on Facebook, I just, and whatever that was put out there because of this situation, I just could not find like photos of her really enjoying herself with someone or with people. It's always like by herself. A few photos like with her mom and stuff, at like some type of convention with looks like swords and stuff. But nothing like you would think that would be like, well, look at her, she has relationships and friends, blah blah blah. She was very empty in that. And another thing too, I mean, besides this uh, left photo of her on a couch, standing on the couch with a smile, most of these photos of her are pretty much exempt of a smile. They're somewhat of a smirk, but it's mostly no smiles. I mean, I'm not saying that's evident of something, but that to these days, most people tend to smile in America. It's a sign of showing a form of happiness, or that you're at least pleasant with what's happening in your life. And here's this chick was going everywhere in the world, and yeah, most of her photos are kind of missing a lot of that. Let's see if I can. I mean, it's somewhat of a smile, but it's not. It's just like you're taking a picture, so I gotta show my teeth. I mean, right there, that is genuine. I mean, you can see she is just so ecstatic in this, and it looks like Happy Mother's Day. So this must be a Mother's Day card that they both did for their for his wife, for her mother. And here's the mother. She's um if I'm not mistaken, would be considered like a phenotype. Her facial structure is like a phenotype of Laos, like southern Chinese people. Most southern Chinese people have more of this like elongated face, if I'm not mistaken. Where if you go more northern, it becomes more like oval shaped. I'm not sure who the gentleman is, but this is where the sword stuff is. And this is actually probably one of the other like actual seems more of a legit smile. Like like maybe she's like maybe they know this old man, or maybe it could be a woman. I'm not sure either. But if I can find, I must have got rid of the one picture, but I had another picture of showing. I'm pretty sure this is where her mother is from, but I might be wrong. But this is where at least one of the photos of her was taken while she was visiting her mom um, for like a birthday or something like that, and that was like last year or something along or sometime. But what was interesting too, what I was noticing going through a lot of this, there was like these huge gaps, like gaps of what seemed to be like where would be all the pictures? There was just like where's all the pictures between um her teenage life and up to the 2000 I think 9 is when her Facebook started, and even then from 2009 to all the way up to present time, there's very few photos at least that was shown. I mean, again, maybe if you're friends, maybe it'd be different, I don't know. But what could be seen, um even on her mother's Facebook, which is was I'm pretty sure was actually open to the public because you couldn't comment. Um, there was just like really no photos of them together, or just of her, like of her daughter. There's just like I don't know if that's common in a lot of families of where they just didn't pick up a cell phone. No, cell phones have been around for the last 10 years. So if she died when she's 27, right? So if she's 27, you step back 10 years ago, that's back in '09. That means that she's 17 years old. Well, well, there's like I said, there's very little photos after that time frame. So I mean I can understand maybe she went off to college, she was far away, and there was a little time that was spent together. I don't think so. I don't know. I just it seems you don't have a close connection with people and then usually end your life. Like a truly close connection with people. People might be like, yeah, they were close, but no, they weren't really close. Like when you start really digging in and asking questions, like how close you knew, like what was their favorite color of food and blah blah blah, and they can't name half of it, then well, you can really kind of say you weren't that particularly close. You were only about the surface stuff. Causing any tensions was not allowed because, well, for whatever reason, maybe afraid of losing the person, the only person that you know. I don't know this situation. It seems very very interesting, uh, and I think it's a reflection of a lot of issues that are happening in society, and we're seeing a lot of the millenniums essentially stuff like this happening where their lives are great, and then they take it, and it's pretty much because they just are they without saying it but implying it, they are full of anger because of this emptiness that they claim, but it's really anger, and they don't realize it's anger for the past. If I was to guess, she's angered for her father for dying essentially, and that anger of her loss of her father over time destroyed her, and it stopped her from truly making true relationships, true loving relationships. Why in her suicide note, it's like exempt of talking about any loving relationship that she had with anybody. She's old enough to have at least a few relationships, but yet like, pretty much exempt of it in that no. It's sad. It's sad. The whole thing is sad. Now, another thing I was really particularly interested was the last name because she said that she is. her mother, she's a Chinese American, right? Her father's a Jewish man and her mother's Chinese. Except if you look up the last name, it's a surname of Anglo-Saxon origin. So was her father really Jewish, or was the man of European descent that decided to call himself Jewish because he wanted to follow the religion Jewish, or the Jewish religion, which is what is that Hebrew or what is it? I'm not even really sure. I guess I'm stupid on that part, but I just find that interesting. Like you can't, because now they're saying Jewish people are is like pretty much a race. Well, if that's the case, well, you can't be Anglo-Saxon and be Jewish at the same time. It's just I don't know, I just thought that was pretty particularly interesting. Sad situation. My heart goes out to everybody who knows this person because those are the people who are gonna have to live for the next couple of days of knowing this person is not going to be ever around again. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like this podcast, please still like and subscribe. Comment down below for advice, comments, whatever. Say hi. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.